You think your coffee habit is bleeding you dry. $5 here, $6 there. You're tracking your lattes like they're the problem. They're not. Your real wealth killer is sitting in your driveway right now. Cars. Not your daily Starbucks run. Not your Netflix subscription. Your car is quietly draining thousands from your future every single year, and you don't even see it happening because everyone around you is doing the exact same thing. Most households spend money in the same buckets: housing, transportation, taxes, utilities, food. The usual suspects. But here's what separates the people building wealth from the people treading water. Transportation costs vary wildly from person to person, and that variance is where fortunes are made or lost. You can't negotiate your property taxes down much. You need food. But your car? That's the variable that sits in plain sight while it destroys your net worth. We worship cars in this culture. Success equals a nice ride. Status equals leather seats and that new car smell. So people buy cars they can't actually afford because their ego writes checks their wealth building can't cash. I was talking to another finance creator last week, and we agreed on this. Cars get props. Your friends see you pull up in something new and they congratulate you. What they don't see is the financial anchor you just strapped to your future. The numbers are brutal. Used car prices jumped 2.5% in January alone. Nearly 16% of people financing new cars in late 2022 committed to monthly payments over $1,000. Read that again. Over $1,000. Every month. For a depreciating asset. And that's before we talk about the dealers adding $250,000 markups on in-demand models. A markup that costs almost as much as the car itself. The average cost to own and operate a car in 2022, according to AAA, was $10,728 per year. Let that number settle in your brain. Let's break this down with something reasonable. Not a Ferrari. Not some luxury SUV. A 2020 Honda Civic. 5 years old. Economic. Practical. Boring even. The true cost to own that Civic over 5 years is almost $44,000. That's $8,800 a year. For a used Honda. If you're making the average American salary of $54,000, you're spending 16% of your gross income just to own a pretty basic car. You cannot build wealth when 16% of your gross pay vanishes into something that loses value every single day you own it. The biggest slice of that cost is depreciation. 99% of cars depreciate. The moment you buy one, you're investing in an asset designed to lose value. That's not investing. That's lighting money on fire in slow motion. Everyone knows the new car story. You drive it off the lot, it becomes used, and 10 to 15% of its value evaporates immediately. Just gone. But here's what most people miss. The depreciation curve has a sweet spot. 3 to 5 years old. At that age, most of the steep depreciation has already happened to someone else, but the car is still new enough that you're not swimming in repair bills. You want something with 30 to 40,000 miles. That's where you save serious money. Let the first owner eat the depreciation. You buy the car after it's already fallen off the cliff. Taxes and fees are next. You're not escaping these. Every car comes with registration, annual fees, smog checks depending on where you live. If you're a family with 3 or 4 cars but only 2 drivers, you're hemorrhaging money on redundant fees. Cut the fleet. One less car saves you hundreds every year in costs you can't avoid otherwise. Then there's financing. Most people can't drop 30 or 40,000 in cash on a car. So they put down 5 or 7 grand and finance the rest. Right now, if you have good credit, you're looking at 6 to 6.5% interest. Bad credit? Even worse. Those interest payments add up fast. Every month you're paying not just for the car, but for the privilege of not owning it outright yet. Fuel is the one everyone forgets when they calculate their monthly payment. You think your car costs you $500 a month because that's the payment. You're forgetting the $200 you're spending on gas. For the Civic we're looking at, fuel costs over 5 years total almost $13,000. That's about $2,600 a year. $200 a month. Every month. There's no magic here. You can get a Costco membership and save $5 to $8 every fill-up. That compounds over time. Electric cars might be the future, but they're expensive now, And we're not abandoning fossil fuels in the next 5 years. So if you own a gas car today, budget for gas getting more expensive, not less. Insurance on this Civic runs about $6,900 over 5 years. That's $115 extra every month that people don't factor into the real cost. Here's a move that saves money. Once a year, same date every year, call your insurance company. Ask for a better rate. If they won't budge, shop around. Call State Farm. Call Progressive. Call Geico. Get quotes. These companies will undercut each other to win your business because they know a long-term customer is worth thousands over time. You can play them against each other. Same coverage, lower price. I do this with everything. Internet bills, phone plans, all of it. Every year I call Comcast around the holidays and tell them I'm thinking about switching unless they honor the introductory rate again. They connect me to retention. Retention extends the offer. I've done this 4 years straight. It works. Repairs and maintenance are the final costs. These are harder to reduce unless you learn basic car skills. YouTube has made this accessible. Changing your oil isn't rocket science. Watch a 20-minute tutorial from someone who knows what they're doing. Learn it once. Every time you change your oil yourself after that, you save $100 to $150 in labor. Cars need oil changes every 3,000 miles. If you drive 15,000 miles a year, that's 5 changes annually. Now stretch that across your driving life. Let's say you're 30 now and you drive until you're 75. That's 45 years. 225 oil changes. Let's call it 200 to be conservative. 200 oil changes times $100 saved each time equals $20,000 over your lifetime. For watching one 20-minute video and getting your hands dirty a couple times a year. When your check engine light comes on, don't race to the dealership. Go to AutoZone. They'll run a free diagnostic with an OBD2 scanner. They'll tell you what's wrong. Then you decide what to do about it. You can buy one of these scanners yourself online. Someone I know had her check engine light on. She barely drove for a week because she was scared. Made an appointment at the dealership. Showed up. They told her the gas cap wasn't screwed on properly. That's it. She wasted a week of mobility and a trip to the dealer over a loose cap. If she'd known what the code meant, she would have fixed it in 10 seconds. But here's the real move. The one that actually changes the game. Don't own a car at all if you can avoid it. That average cost of ownership, $10,768 a year. What if you took that money and invested it instead? Let's say in 2020 you took 10 grand and bought Microsoft stock. That stock has almost tripled since then. Your 10,000 becomes 30,000. In 5 years. And that's just one example. The point isn't that you'll always triple your money. The point is opportunity cost. Every dollar you pour into a depreciating car is a dollar that can't compound for you somewhere else. It's not just the 10 grand you spend. It's the 10 grand you didn't invest that could have been working for you while you sleep. Consider living closer to work. I know people who commute 45 minutes. An hour. Every single day. That's wear and tear, depreciation, fuel, time you'll never get back. If you could pay $200 more in rent to live 10 minutes from work instead of an hour, run the math. You might save more than $200 in fuel and maintenance. You definitely save hours of your life. When you're job hunting, factor in the commute cost. Not just in dollars. In time. In stress. In the slow drain on your car's lifespan. Car prices keep climbing. The pressure to keep up keeps building. Everyone around you is upgrading. Don't succumb. Buy in the depreciation sweet spot. 3 to 5 years used. Shop insurance every single year. Cut unnecessary cars from your household fleet. Live closer to work if you can swing it. These aren't radical ideas. They're just uncomfortable because they require you to opt out of what everyone else is doing. The wealthy don't buy new cars to impress people they don't like. They buy used, they negotiate everything, and they put the savings to work. You're either building wealth or you're building a nicer prison with premium floor mats. The car sitting in your driveway right now is voting on which one you're building. Choose accordingly.